Now, if you're an avid advocate for the game of chess, or even someone that is just fascinated by the game, then there's no doubt that the spectacular Netflix show of the Queen's Gambit has captured your attention. The show is centered around the main character of Elizabeth Harmon, a young orphan growing up in the 1950s, who develops a strong knack for the game of chess. The show takes us on a journey through which we see Beth grow as a chess player. From first learning the basics in the basement of her orphanage, to eventually facing off with grandmasters and world-class chess champions. Which leads to the question of, what can we learn from the Queen's Gambit? How can we learn to think like Beth Harmon? What can we learn from her that we can implement into our lives, in our businesses, and in ourselves? Now, Beth is far from perfect, but one of the key strategies that she uses to achieve a lot of her success in life comes down to the 28th law of power. Enter action with boldness. If you are unsure of a course of action, do not attempt it. Your doubts and hesitations will infect your execution. It is much better to enter action with boldness. And any mistakes you commit through audacity can always be easily corrected with more audacity. Everyone in life admires the bold, whereas no one honors the timid. And this is the strategy that Beth used to become the queen of the entire chess world. When we look back at the history of chess, we come to realize that the game is more psychological warfare than anything. It's all about intimidating or deceiving your opponent into making a mistake, which you can then exploit as a player in order to win the game. This is the strategy and philosophy behind the game of chess. Now, we do see a few tactics used in the show, through actions like Harry Beltic, who constantly yawns as he plays against Beth, or by when Beth gets up out of her seat and seemingly takes a careless stroll as she plays against a much more younger opponent, trying to psych him out. But as much as these tactics do work, they really don't, however, come into comparison when it comes to the intimidation created by making a bold move. When you enter any action with boldness, you are going on the aggressive. You're playing offense instead of defense. It makes you seem larger than life and more powerful than you actually are, inspiring fear into your opponent's mind. This strategy and philosophy behind acting bold fits Beth's style of playing chess perfectly, as she is considered to be a bold and aggressive player. This bold action that she takes also stems from within her personal life also. From her skipping choir practice as a kid to play chess with Mr. Scheibel, to moving all the way to New York to stay in a basement in order to improve her knowledge of the game. And maybe also to get a bit of freaky time with Benny, but the girl's gotta live, right? To her even rejecting the offer of being supported by the Christian Foundation and going out to the Soviet Union on her own. The point is that she is never afraid to make that big, bold move. I mean, the sheer audacity of her entering her first ever tournament with the sole intention of defeating the top players in her state is just another clear example of Beth's boldness. or the fact that she stands up and refuses to partake in any political games. This bold action that she constantly takes is what eliminates the many obstacles that she faces in her path, in comparison to where if she was always hesitant, which would only create more obstacles for her. Combining this bold action with an extreme aptitude and thirst for knowledge for the game is what makes her so powerful at the game of chess and life. She establishes a reputation as a bold, aggressive player, which is what puts her opponents on the defensive, in terror of her next unpredictable strike, which clearly demonstrates that this strategy works. Now, it is a shame to say it, but most of us as human beings are quite timid. We typically want to avoid tension and conflict. Many of us may think about a bold action, but it's only very few people that bring it to life. We typically are terrified of the consequences and of what others might think of us if we dare go beyond our usual comfort zone. But by consistently backing down and retreating in the face of confrontation or challenge, gives the aggressor autonomy and power over you. Remember what I said before, chess is psychological warfare. But it's not just chess where we see this in life. I mean, we see it in the boardroom, we see it in our workplace, and we see this in business. Now, there is a time for compromising and understanding, but you can't let others walk all over you. This is what will refrain you from climbing up your field. We see how Beth counters this when Borgov offers to draw in their final match. For the world chess champion to offer you a draw is an outstanding accomplishment. But Beth, surprisingly, declines this, as she insists that she can win the game. This is what puts Borgov on edge and tips the odds into Beth's favour. The sheer audacity that Beth has for thinking that she can beat the world champion is unsettling for him, especially since he was the one that offered the draw in the first place. This is where high admiration for Beth is honoured. Whereas in the first and second game against Borgov, Beth entered those games with less than total confidence in herself, which obviously gave Borgov the advantage. I mean, you can see the difference in her eyes and body language throughout all the different games. The Queen's Gambit is a truly amazing show, and what it teaches us is that even though boldness is not natural, neither is being timid. It is an acquired habit picked up out of the desire to avoid conflict. But in life, no matter who you are or what you do, you are always going to have to engage in conflict and competition. If timidity has taken hold of you, then root it out. None of us are perfect, but a series of strong, bold moves has the magical effect to hide our deficiencies. Now, of course, boldness should never be the strategy behind all of your actions. It is a tactical instrument to be used at the right moment. But timidity and hesitation are not celebrated either. It's the one who enters with boldness and courage that always wins. Whenever you're planning to make a move in life or business, plan and think ahead like a chess player. Calculate each potential outcome, but then make the final element that one bold move that will bring you success. And that is how to think like Elizabeth Harmon from the Queen's Gambit, by entering action with boldness. Now, if you like this video, make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment below on what your thoughts and feelings are. What was your favourite thing about the Queen's Gambit? And let me know some other things that you may have learned from the show. And if you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel, and to all our loyal subscribers, we are glad you are here. We do some of the best character breakdowns on the whole of YouTube, and we aim to produce at least one high quality animated video per week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any golden knowledge. I'll see you soon.